Ketara Shavon. Keke Wyatt is an American recording artist. She became known after a successful collaboration with R&B singer Avant in 2001, and in 2002, her rendition of Nothing in This World led to a nomination for Best New R&BRap Artist at the Soul Train Lady of Soul Awards. She has released a number of solo albums, including Soul Sista in 2001, Who Knew? In 2010, Unbelievable in 2011, and most recently the Keke EP in 2014. A number of her albums have charted prominently on the Billboard 200 chart. She has also released a number of charting singles, and her most recent single, Sexy Song, was released on November 20, 2015 through her own imprint Aratek Records. Early life and education: born in Indianapolis, Indiana to Lorna Wyatt, a vocalist, and Keke Wyatt too, an organist-vocalist, Ketara Keke Wyatt was raised in a musical family rooted in gospel music. Wyatt began singing at the age of 2, experiencing her first live show by age 5. She has a twin brother, Keke Wyatt III, and their younger brother Kendall Wyatt would later become a Christian music songwriter. Despite her religious background, Wyatt was also exposed to R&B and secular music, and she came to perform vocals in genres as diverse as gospel, pop and opera. Of mixed white and black heritage, Wyatt was raised in a predominantly African American household and community setting, and identifies as African American. In addition to her parents' and maternal grandparents' interracial marriages, Wyatt's paternal grandmother is part Cherokee. Growing up in Indianapolis and spending time in both Kentucky and Texas, as Wyatt grew older she was influenced by the likes of Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway and Ella Fitzgerald. Inspired by many preceding musical greats, Wyatt found herself performing with various girl groups as a teen. She attended high school in Indianapolis where she was a member of her high school's varsity wrestling team and was often recognized for possessing a level of maturity that exceeded her in age. Career = early singing and songwriting = Wyatt's professional career began at age 10 when she recorded the song, What If, on a gospel compilation album for Indianapolis-based R.H. Duncan. With growing buzz surrounding the little girl who could sing, news of Wyatt's talent led to encounters with the likes of Bill Woodson, Nathan Alexander, Billy Badd, Chris Kelly, multi-platinum producer-composer Jorge Caranti and Emmanuel Officer. During adolescence Keke Wyatt became a student of Chicago-based producer-songwriter Steve Stone. Half eventually produced and shopped a few of Wyatt's demos in hopes of landing a record deal. During her mid-teens she performed demo songs for various gospel labels, earning around $1,500 per recording. During that time, Keke extended her skill by also writing music, and it was while writing music as a teenager that Keke experienced her first coldly dealt disappointment as a music industry professional. She wrote the majority of the lyrics for a hit song, yet received no credit for her work. In a December 11, 2001 interview, Wyatt said she was a founding member of an early incarnation of Destiny's Child called the Dolls, and that she was replaced by Beyonce Knowles. First hit single and Soul Sista = At age 15, Wyatt recorded My First Love with Avant, which was released 2 years later, eventually becoming a single for his album entitled My Thoughts. Wyatt gained much notoriety for the remake of the 1980s ballad by Renee and Angela. Its success, remaining on the top 10 for several weeks, resulted in a solo album contract with MCA Records. With the help of the late MCA record executive Lou Silas, her friend Andy and Randy Jackson, whom she met at age 12, and former Boyz II Men manager Quadri Amin, Wyatt recorded her first album in within 2 weeks' time. Her first single, Used to Love, helped to create buzz but failed to achieve radio play, though it did chart at number 65 on the Hot R&B Hip-Hop Singles and Tracks chart. The follow-up single Nothing in This World, her second duet with Avant, charted higher on a number of Billboard charts, including number 4 on the Hot R&B Hip-Hop Singles and Tracks chart, number 27 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, and number 35 on the Rhythmic Top 40 chart. Soul Sista, her solo debut in 2001, a platinum album, was released on November 13, 2001. It held the top 5 position for several weeks on the Billboard 200. Selling more than 1 million copies, Wyatt's fan base broadened to audiences in Japan, Korea and Europe. In 2002, her rendition of Nothing in This World led to a nomination for Best New R&BRap Artist at the Soul Train Lady of Soul Awards. Hit singles and shelved albums. By 2004, Wyatt had departed from MCA Records. She signed a contract, negotiated by her ex-husband road manager Matt Morton, with Cash Money Records Universal Motown Records, under the management of Cassandra Ware. Her second album Emotional Rollercoaster was originally set for release on May 31, 2005, but was postponed for release in early 2006. The set's first single, Put Your Hands on Me, became the #1 most added urban track to radio in April 2005. However, the single failed to chart or gain radio airplay, and her album was, subsequently, shelved. Beyond the first single, other songs slated to appear on her second album included Look at What You Made Me Do, Insecurity written by Brian Michael Cox, My Man, 6 Questions featuring Avant, Cheaters, Who Knows written by Tank, Peace on Earth, a remake of a Rachel Ferrell single, and the title track Emotional Rollercoaster featuring Genuine. In 2006, Wyatt was released from her contract with Cash Money Records, citing conflict with management as the reason for her departure. In 2007 Wyatt, reunited with her former manager Quadri Al-Amin on the TVT Records label. Work on her third solo album Ghetto Rose was completed in 2007. The title track, written by veteran songwriter Fran Golder along with Casey Livingston and Kurt Schneider, was released to urban radio outlets in the fall of that year. The album was originally set for release on October 23, 2007, but was postponed for release in early 2008. Then, in February 2008, the record label filed for bankruptcy and, for the second time in her solo career, Wyatt's album was shelved. Theatre debut and Shaniki albums. In 2009, Wyatt played a leading role in a United States-based nationally touring production entitled Love Overboard. The production also included many seasoned cast members such as actress Karen Molina White, singer Avant, actor Khalil Kane, and others. Wyatt released the single, Who Knew? In 2010, which served as the title track for her album Who Knew? Released on February 23, 2010 through Shaniki Records. On the US Billboard Top R&B Hip-Hop Albums, the album peaked at number 35, also reaching number 30 on the US Billboard 200 chart. In May 2011, Wyatt released a remake of the popular 1980s single Saturday Love, featuring Ruben Studdard. Shortly afterwards, she also released a music video for the track through Shaniki Records. Saturday Love was included in her second album on Shaniki, Unbelievable, which was released on June 14, 2011. It peaked at number 48 on the R&B Albums chart. Starring in R&B Divas. In 2011, during an interview Wyatt mentioned shopping footage in hopes of landing a reality TV show deal featuring herself and her family. However, in 2012 she was cast in the TV One's R&B Divas, which features the lives of 5 1990s chart-topping R&B singers including Wyatt, Faith Evans, Mitch C. Gilbert, Monifa and Ciliana Johnson. The show documents the singers living in Atlanta, Georgia as they work towards rebuilding their careers. The first episode aired on August 20, 2012. Throughout the show, R&B Divas singers collaborated on a charity album commemorating the life of Whitney Houston, featuring the single Love Yourself, which is also featured in the TV show's introduction. Proceeds of the album went towards benefiting organizations committing to improving the lives of women. She performed at the 2012 Essence Music Festival in New Orleans along with the other cast members of R&B Divas, and according to Erica Ramirez of Billboard in a ranking of the top 10 performances at the festival, Keke Wyatt's cover of Houston's I Wanna Dance with Somebody left the audience in awe even after the performance. After the initial season of R&B Divas, Wyatt appeared in the 2 following seasons as well, when the show was renamed to R&B Divas, Atlanta. KEKEEP, recent projects equals. In 2013, she collaborated with Avant on their hit You and I, which peaked at #1 on Billboard unregistered trademark S Urban AC chart, and remained there close to 2 months. You and I also reached number 33 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. In May 2014, Wyatt released her first EP titled KEKE, through the North Star Group and her own imprint Aratek Entertainment. The EP featured songwriters and producers such as Leo, Chuck Harmony, Claude Kelly, and Kristyle, while other guest artists include Pusha T on the track Rain, and Nitty Scott in Remember. Overall, the EP contains 5 newly written and produced songs, and the single Fall in Love reached number 120 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 17 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Singles and Tracks chart. As of June 2014, the EP held the 191st position on the Billboard 200 album chart. On the R&B albums chart, the EP peaked at number 12 in late June 2014, and it also reached number 35 on the Independent Albums chart. In August 2014, Wyatt made a cameo in fellow R&B divas co-star Faith Evans' music video I Deserve It, featuring Missy Elliott and Sharaya J. Later that year, Wyatt was featured as a vocalist on the track Make Love by Faith Evans. In the fall of 2015, she signed a multi-album distribution deal for her Aratek Entertainment company with R&BRap's music group, announcing upcoming promo singles. On November 20, 2015, she released her new R&B single Sexy Song. The track is set to be the lead single of her upcoming album 2016 album as well, which will be released through Aratek Records. Sexy Song was peaking at number 29 on the Adult R&B Songs chart as of early December 2015. Advocacy: Wyatt has served as a spokesperson for the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. As spokesperson, she shares her experience as a long-term victim of domestic abuse. She is also a supporter of the Saving Our Daughters organization. Personal life: Wyatt was 18 years old when she married Matt Morton, her road manager. An altercation between Wyatt and Morton was widely reported in the urban news circuit in 2001, with Wyatt explaining that she had stabbed her husband out of self-defense and to protect her children. Wyatt filed for divorce from Morton in 2009 after an escalation of domestic violence, relocating her family from Kentucky to Atlanta, Georgia. Wyatt was pregnant with her 4th child by the end of the marriage, but suffered a miscarriage. She remarried in 2010 to Michael Ford, an ordained minister who went to appear with Wyatt in the reality TV show R&B Divas. As of 2013, the couple were raising 6 children together, 3 fathered by Wyatt's first husband, and 2 fathered by Ford. The 6th child is her stepchild from Ford's previous relationship. Wyatt and her husband had their 8th child in early 2015. Awards and nominations. Discography: Soul Sista, Who Knew? Unbelievable, KEKE. Filmography and theater. Further reading, video, BET Awards Backstage, June 2007, Keke Wyatt, Still Standing, July 2007, No More Drama, Keke Wyatt on Her Music and Marriage, August 2007, Podcast, R&BRap.com, September 25, 2007, S2S Magazine, September 2007. See also, List of soul musicians. References. External links, thekekewyatt.com, Keke Wyatt on Twitter, Keke Wyatt on YouTube.